Good evening, blindies. Welcome to another episode of Yarning Cars, or Yarning Motorbikes tonight. On this episode, I'm going to tell you the story of my worst, best motorcycle crash. Worst for injuries, best for comedy reasons, I guess you'd call it. Before I went blind, I was out of control, rider and driver. Ask anyone who knew me, I'd ride and drive everywhere I went, and generally like a lunatic. In town I'd behave, but if you seen me out on the highway and the open road, I was always hauling ass. Well, on this particular night, me and a good mate of mine, I was working down in Sydney, and he was working in the same suburb as me, and we both lived on the Central Coast. So it was often a, bit of a race up the freeway. Well, he'd leave work half an hour before I did, but he was in an XE Falcon station wagon. Granted, it was a Fly 1 4-speed, 4-wheel disc brakes, had extractors and Edelbrock manifold and Holly Carby, and it went alright, cam, and for the day it was a decent bit of gear. But on this day, he left half an hour before he rings me up and says, I'm pulling out now. I'm like, yeah, I'll be leaving in half an hour. I'll catch you on the freeway, dickhead. Because, Penn Hills Road, he gets stuck in traffic, I get to scoot through it on the bike. So, I gets up the end of Penn Hills Road, hadn't caught him by this stage, gets onto the freeway, and, sitting on, I already been in trouble for this, so I can't get in trouble twice. I was doing 160, 170, cruising along, This bike was a GSXR 750, 98 model, fast bloody bike. So, I'm cruising up the highway at 160, 170, doing the ton, and just as I get towards the end of the freeway, I catch up with my mate, so I give him a flash, he realises I'm behind me, and it's on. We're playing cat and mouse on the freeway, and then we get off the freeway, and we're going down Warong Road, and we're turning left onto the entrance road where there's this massive roundabout, and it's got a dedicated lane to turn left. And he's in front of me, and I'm right up his cracker, and he's checked as he's coming through the roundabout, and he's put the boot into it. So naturally I put the boot in as well, and off I go, launch right up his ass. I'm just about to indicate and pull over, and he slams his brakes on. A dog's run out in front of him, and I didn't even have a chance to grab the clutch or brake. I just slammed straight up his ass. He would have been doing probably 85, 90k. Me, I would have probably been doing about 100, 110, because I was gaining on him and about to rip around. But when he hit the brakes, there was just nowhere to go except straight into the back of this station wagon. Well, I've hit the back of the wagon, the whole rear of the bike's lifted up, and I went through the back windscreen of the station wagon, with my head, top of my helmet on the top of the station wagon, through the window, and bike's come up, and when it's come up, the clip-on handlebar went over the tailgate where the window had broken. Well, that's where my hand, for some odd reason, decided to grab a hold of during the accident, in which case I've impacted into the back of the wagon at maximum velocity. The bike's bounced back out with me still in the seat, and the impact was that bad it embedded the bike into the bumper and the tailgate of the car. It was like still standing up, and bike's come back down and it's trapped my hand between the tailgate and the clip-on handlebar. Well, I'm howling, get the bike off me, get the bike off me. So my mate's out of his car, bystanders come out and they've lifted the back of the bike out, ripped my hand out. As soon as I ripped my hand out and I went to look down at it, I've looked down at my foot, and it was like fuck's my shoe? And the impact had torn my boot off my foot. But it got worse than that. My entire leg from below the knee had snapped and spun 100. My foot was facing the wrong way. And to this day, I don't know why I did my next move. I'm looking at my foot, and for some strange reason I thought, wonder if I can move my toe. That was one of the last things I remember before realising I was about to fall off the bike. Because by this stage, I'm still sitting on the bike. Look at that. This is all happening in a matter of 30 seconds. And then I hit the deck and screamed. I guess when I fell off the bike, I torn my leg even worse. And yeah, my hand was buggered. My neck was killing me. Thank God I had a full face helmet on. But yeah, the downside to that was the bike I was riding was unregistered. I was disqualified, had no insurance, ended up in hospital for about 3.5 months, getting my leg and shit sorted in and out of hospital. When I was finally well enough for to walk on my leg again, I had to go to court and I had to go to prison for a couple of months for you know, they knew I was speeding, I was at fault. You know, someone who witnessed the accident had seen me bang it up behind the car. And, yeah, didn't notice the V8 bellowing its head off in front of me, but noticed my bike. So yeah, I got into a lot of trouble, and I deserved it back then. I was a menace riding around with no licence and unregistered, because if I registered it up and they just cancel it anyway. But that's my worst, best, stupidest crash. And to the poor Suzuki I was riding, I'm so sorry. But stupid things we do while we're riding. So always remember when you're on your bike, don't tailgate, because people slam on their brakes and you've got nowhere to go. So remember the rules, guys. Tyres, turn and patili. Cheers.
Stop record.